Welcome to Career Journeys, a series of videos by the Consortium for Public Education. Here we explore the career experiences and pathways of professionals from a wide variety of careers to help you think about the skills you'll need and the paths you might take after high school.
Hi, I'm Gina Barrett, a program director at the Consortium for Public Education. Today I'm here with Yasmeen Manyisha, a safety press officer for PennDOT. Yasmeen, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Well, we're happy to have you. Can you tell us, what does a safety press officer do?
So we are basically the safety spokesperson for PennDOT. That's everything from going out into the community and talking to folks about safe driving habits, anything traffic related. So that can be anything from teaching toddlers how to walk across the street properly with an adult, or elementary school kids how to ride their bike safely, or even catch a school bus for the first time, all the way to teens who are first getting their licenses and learning how to drive, all the way up to senior citizens who are just really thinking about how to drive safely now that they're getting older and they may have different medical issues. So that's everything from being out into community. And then there's that other factor there that is working with the media to get safety messages across. So having press conferences and media events and sending out press releases. My job's a lot of fun, and safety is always the top priority in my job.
What is a normal day like for you? Is there a normal day?
There's not a normal day for me. And I love that. That's one of the things I love most about what I do. Like I said, one moment I can be with young kids, and then the exact same day I can be doing a press conference for something completely different. I love the change up. I love that it's fast paced. And I love that I really just get to be creative with my job. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's important to have fun with your job. Well, why are you good at what you do? What are some of the characteristics and the traits that make you fit for a career like this?
So for someone who's interested in doing something like what I do, you have to be able to speak to people. I mean, my main focus is getting safety messages across to everyone in Western Pennsylvania, Southwest Pennsylvania. So you have to be able to speak to people. Being a good writer, that's really important. You also want to make sure you're comfortable with public speaking just overall. I know so many people are not comfortable with public speaking. I actually read an article just a few years back that said public speaking is the #1 fear of the average American. That's before death. People fear public speaking more than they do death. So it's not a job that's for everyone. You know, you really have to be one of those people who enjoy talking to people and feel comfortable and confident while doing that. A lot of my job is being data driven as well. So I look at statistics and see where crashes are occurring in our region, seeing where we're seeing fatalities. And that's the sad part, the darker part of my job. But that also gives me the opportunity to address those things and make sure I focus in on those areas. So hopefully I can change the patterns that we're seeing. So even being data driven is something that's pretty important.
Can you tell us, what was your career path like to get here? What did you do before? How did you grow into this position?
So the majority of my career before this position was a lot of event planning. I was an event planner for a very, very long time. So I was raising millions of dollars for different organizations through different events, whether it was local races or big fundraising parties. I did a lot of that. I also had publicist background. I was a consultant as a publicist for different organizations. They would hire my organization and ultimately me to come and do PR work for them. So by the time you kind of put those things together, this really felt like a good fit for me and just the background. I have a lot of nonprofit background. So nonprofit and government, not that different, slightly different, but not that different at all. So those types of things were the things I was working on before I fell into this career.
Well, it sounds like a great path. Can you tell us a little bit about your post-secondary education?
At 15, I actually started taking college classes for engineering at the local university. So I started taking those classes on the evenings and weekends. And then by the time I actually graduated high school, I decided that I loved engineering, but it wasn't the fit for me. It wasn't what just drove me to be excited every morning when I got up. And I realized I was starting to see some of those traits and characteristics that I talked about earlier. I started realizing I loved writing papers, and I loved doing presentations, and I loved interacting with my classmates and my teachers and the community. So ultimately, I found out that communications was the major I really wanted to pursue. So I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I was already in the University of Pittsburgh, and I graduated with a communications degree. After that, literally probably 2 weeks before I graduated from Pitt, I realized I wanted to go to grad school because I really wanted to focus on public relations. I'd had some public relations classes while I was at Pitt, but I absolutely loved them. And I hadn't taken as many as I wanted because I was like, this is the field I want to be in. I really want to do PR. So I really got to get more experience. So I actually went to Point Park after that, and I got my master's degree with a public relations focus. So that gave me the opportunity to work on press releases more and, different public relations campaigns and working with actual companies in the community so I can do public relations for them. And it also gave me the opportunity to be on screen a little bit and practice broadcasting and talking to people on TV. What I will say is because I took so long to realize that I wanted to go and get my master's, I actually took a year off, continued working, applied to Point Park, got in, and then I was able to take off from there. And there's no problem with that. I mean, sometimes you have to take that moment to collect yourself and really then go for your dream and your career.
A student who's considering a career like yours, what could they be doing right now while they're in school?
So you really want to focus on your English classes. Those are really important because I'm proud to say I'm one of the stronger writers in the organization. So when people have things that they're writing, they come to me and ask me to review it and edit it. And I do the same. Even though I'm the person that most people go to, when I write something important, I have to get it looked at. I have to get it reviewed. I have to get it edited. There always should be an extra set of eyes. So really focus on those English classes, grammar classes. Definitely get comfortable with public speaking and be comfortable with giving a presentation. The one thing I tell people all the time when they say, I don't know how you get in front of a group or get in front of TV cameras and just talk. How do you do that? Honestly, for me, half the battle is knowing what I'm talking about. If I know what I'm talking about and I'm comfortable and confident in the topic, I can talk to anyone about it. Knowledge is the key there. So definitely get comfortable with public speaking. And then honestly, most of those classes that I've taken in high school somehow work their way into my job, one way or another. You wouldn't think that a communications person uses a lot of math, but I do. I work with engineers here, and a lot of times I have to understand what they're trying to tell me. And so just having those basic skills and that background knowledge that I gained even from high school helps me out every day.
Do you have any additional advice that we haven't touched on already?
I just think it's really important to kind of stay up to speed with what's going on just worldwide. I wasn't the kid who liked to watch the news. I mean, most kids don't. But once I really started picking up on that, it was really important that I know what's going on in my community. I know what's going on worldwide, so that when things come across my desk that I may not be familiar with, at least I've heard of it and I know where to go to get additional resources. And also in my field, social media is a big thing. Know what social media is doing right now. Know how to provide solid posts. I mean, a lot of teens are on social media anyway, so they know how to work these things, but continue to work with them. Continue to know the latest trends, know the latest updates. I mean, even think Twitter has changed so much since I was in school, and I constantly have to make sure I'm keeping up with it. Just so I know how to make sure I'm posting things correctly or how I'm having people view my things correctly. And a lot of times that's also how I get my news too. So I'm kind of doing two things at once, getting two goals out of the same project.
Well, great advice. Thank you so much for joining us today, Yasmeen.
Thank you so much.
For more information or to learn about other careers in the Career Journey series, visit our website and check back soon for our next installment. Thanks!